Hey everybody, welcome to my first Preptober video for this October 2019. And today we are going to talk about what you actually need to write a novel. I have not won Nano for many a year, but I always get words written, so it's kind of a win. Not really though, that's just me lying to myself to try and make myself feel better. But there have been many times that I started Nano really late and I'm like, what do I really need? YouTubers make these 47-step processes for how they plan out their novels and what they do every day of Preptober. I'm here to talk about like the lazy man's way out, what you actually need to write your novel during November, or at least write part of your novel in November. And the first thing that you need, I think that you need this to start writing it all. You need to have some idea of how your story is going to end. It doesn't have to be the way that it actually ends, but you need to have some idea of where you're going with your story, because let me tell you, I have written many a rambling manuscript that doesn't have a beginning really and doesn't have an end really because I didn't know where it was going. If you don't know where you're going, then you're going to meander. Meandering is fine. I do it all the time. That's how my first novel ended up being 150,000 words. It's a behemoth of a book because most of the stuff in there is not stuff that I planned for. And by planned, I mean wrote on 17 index cards before I started writing my novel, like I actually knew how to plan a whole novel at 18. Anyway, you need to know what the end is going to be. Are your characters going to die? Are they going to triumph? Are they going to fail? Is the enemy going to die before they even get to fight him? You need to have some idea of where it's going, because that in itself can help guide your story. If you aren't a plotter, you don't feel like writing an outline, if you know where you're going, then maybe you don't know what's happening in the next scene, but you know in the next 5 scenes you need to get to a certain place, or your character needs to be angry, and you can kind of work backwards from the end. The second thing that you definitely need is a main character, and a main character with an issue. So we've all read hero stories. Hero stories are great. I love me a good hero, like bring on Harry Potter, Percy Jackson. Both of those are middle grade, but I think everybody has kind of read those, so that's why I use those examples. They need to have a problem, you know. Harry Potter's an orphan. He doesn't know magic. Percy Jackson doesn't know his father. He also doesn't know magic. They need to have a problem within themselves that they're going to grapple with through your story. This is hard for me. I tend to create characters who have problems, but those problems don't affect the plot, which is useless. You need your character to have a problem, and you need that problem to come up while you're telling your story, because if it doesn't, then what's the point? For example, my character Fel had a very rough background. His father was very abusive. He grew up kind of on the outskirts of society because of his father, and because of this, he doesn't know how to communicate with other people. Throughout Valor, where he is a main character, the first draft, it didn't matter. He never grappled with it. He never had any type of internal crises. He never developed emotionally as a character because I didn't give him the space to. You want to make your main character, and you want to give them some type of giant chip on their shoulder, burden on their back that they're going to carry with them throughout your plot, and you are going to use to manipulate their growth. The third thing you need to have is a reason to keep going. And I say this not as you, like the author, but I mean for your characters. And again, I say this as being a person who didn't give my characters this, and I'm really gonna be honest, I am notorious for this, both in my first novel, Valor, and my second novel, Might. I don't have a good reason to start my plot. So I don't have any tips on how to do that, but I'm telling you that you do need one. Why is your character going on a journey? Why does that intrigue your character? What part of your main character is being pulled towards something that is going to begin your plot? The 3 things that I just talked about work so well together to keep you going when you don't have an outline. if your character has a reason for doing what they're doing, if your character has an issue that they're gonna need to unpack, and if you as the author know where your story is going, then I guarantee you can come up with an idea for the next scene that you're not sure how to write, and you will be able to write something that is going to propel you forward in your story, whether that's going to be in character development or because of your plot, you know, moving you closer to the end. I promise you, if you have those, then you have enough stuff to play around and still kind of stay on track. The fourth thing is someone or something to push against. You gotta have an antagonist, and I'm telling you, they have got to be compelling, whether that is nature fighting against the character themselves, fighting against some other character. They need to be compelling, and they need to be as powerful, if not more powerful, than your hero. Which is kind of a scary thought, but that's what makes for compelling stories. Let's go with Harry Potter. If Harry Potter was fighting against book 1 Neville Longbottom the entire time, like just book 1 Neville Longbottom, would that be really a compelling story? You know Harry's gonna win because he has more quote-unquote talent than Neville Longbottom. He has more natural ability towards magic than Neville Longbottom. Why would that be compelling? You don't want to watch Harry fight against Neville. You want to watch Harry fight against Voldemort. You want to watch him fight against somebody who's more powerful than him, who's stronger than him, who he should be crushed by. So you need an enemy, and you need them to be real strong. The fifth thing you need is 3 to 10, in that range or more, scene ideas. I don't know about you, but for me, when I started coming up with my idea for my novel Might, in my head immediately I saw a mother and daughter scene. I saw a scene with my main character and with one of his men. I saw a couple of other scenes like where people are interacting with each other, or people are having some type of revelation about themselves or about the journey that they're on, and I wrote those down because those scenes are your greatest weapon. Like, that's the sword in your back pocket. You need them because when you sit down to write one day and you don't know what you're writing and you don't know where your story is going, write one of those scenes. Because it's A, going to get you super excited about your story because you are already excited about that idea. It's one of the first ideas that pops into your head. And B, it's actually going to work towards your plot and maybe unlock some other scenes that you can write as you keep going when you were previously stalled. So I would say, when you're thinking about your story idea, you want to start writing, just pull out a notebook or even a sticky note and write down 3 to 10 just snapshots that you see in your mind of scenes that you can write that you think would further your story and be compelling not only to a reader but to you because you're the writer. And then of course, like logistical things, you know, you need somewhere to write your novel, you need something to write it with, and by that I mean if you're handwriting it, you need a writing utensil like a pen or a pencil. If you are typing it, then you need phalanges to type it with. You also need something to keep your ideas on. Speaking as a disorganized mess of person, I seriously recommend Post-it notes, because the beautiful thing about Post-it notes is they stick on things. And I put these, wow, what a fail. Am I right? Here, we'll use a different example. They stick on things. And I put these everywhere. So the reason why I'm saying Post-it notes are better than, like, you know, a little notebook is great too. If you want a little notebook, I keep a journal. You just saw me stick a Post-it note on it. The reason why I think that Post-it notes are better than writing on scrap pieces of paper, writing on index cards, writing in your phone, which, like, do that if you have to. I think Post-it notes are great because you can stick them on things and you won't lose them. I am notorious for writing things on the top of a notes page in one of my class binders, and then can I ever find that again? Absolutely not. I'm notorious for writing on index cards or tiny pieces of paper that then, and if you're a student, you know what I'm talking about, you go into your backpack a week later and all of those things are like squished and crunched down at the bottom because you keep shoving your books on top of them. Yeah, that's not a great place to keep your ideas. So I love to write my ideas on sticky notes, and I stick them either in my journal or on my folder or on my laptop, somewhere that's not in something, like in a class notebook or in my folder, somewhere where I can see them visually, and I'm going to see them within the next 24 hours. You know, they're not going to get lost forever. That's why I recommend writing your ideas on sticky notes. Maybe not when you're starting. When you're starting, maybe write on like a document or in your notebook or on a piece of paper, but when you're out and about writing down ideas, make sure you write them somewhere where you're not going to lose them. They're going to pop up in your life in the next 24 to 48 hours so that you don't forget about them. And then the best part about these is that you can take them off of something, put them somewhere else, and again, they stick there. It's a beautiful thing. I really enjoy them. So that is all I think that you absolutely need to begin NaNoWriMo and to write your novel. Let me know in the comments down below if there's something that you think I left off of this list that you think is absolutely necessary to starting your novel or writing your novel. I would really love to know, and I will be back on Sunday with a really fun writing vlog, and then again next Wednesday for my second Preptober video. I am super excited for all of my nanoers to be watching these videos and to hear about your projects. So if you want to tell me about your projects down below, please do that, or tell me if you don't know what you're writing, because that's me. I don't know what I'm writing for NaNoWriMo, which is perfectly okay because it's October 2nd and we got time. That is all for this video. If you like what you see and you want to see more writing content from me, please hit that subscribe button down below. I would love to have you here. And like I said, I will see you guys on Sunday. Bye.